the coveted Zane Grey Championship trophy, and a payday to the winner.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Be careful, be careful.
Hold him, dude, hold him. Got him.
It's not going to be easy. These billfish don't want to be caught, but the 4 playoff teams are ready to get to work. A new venue, a new species, some of the most bountiful billfish waters on the planet. And it comes down to these final hours of competition.
Nice!
Quantified has held the title the last 2 years, but today a new champion will be crowned.
Yeah, baby.
It's the Zane Grey Championship Playoff, presented by Verizon on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, baby. Oh, yes! There's another one there in the teaser.
And it is Championship Monday. I know it doesn't sound right, but it is Championship Monday. We will crown our 3rd ever champion of the Sport Fishing Championship. He will hold up that Zane Grey Championship trophy live in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Robbie Floyd and Peter Miller are here with you. 4 of the best teams throughout the season have qualified to make it to this point. Now it'll be one more day, or half a day, if you will, to find out who will be crowned champion of 2024. We're in the middle of day number 2 of this 2-day adventure, but let's take a look back at day number 1 and the leaderboard. Did they catch them? Heck, yes, they caught them, Peter Miller, and we have a leader with Lifeline with 2,200 points, but lights out Southern Charm just behind, and don't count out Rising Suns. We've seen what they've done this year.
That's right, Robbie. It only takes one more fish for Rising Suns to get right there in creeping distance, and then another fish will take them right to the top.
Day number 1, 56 total billfish, 54 striped marlin, a couple of blue marlin. Looking back at day number 1, our team's getting ready to take off. It will be a shotgun start on each of these 2 days at 7 a.m. in the morning. Picante Sport Fishing with their 43-foot mag bay kicking off these teams. Now, the point structure, Peter, it's a little different than maybe you would see throughout the season, but if you're getting a black or blue, you have a big advantage over the striped marlin.
Yeah, you really want to target those 450-point fish. That makes a huge difference. However, the striped marlin are 125 points, and you might be able to catch 4 to 6 of them at a time, so those really add up and they stack up, and they can meet those 450 at any given time.
Different structure we talked about through the season. You don't see swordfish on the menu, but you do see that striped marlin. We had yet to have a striped marlin caught on the Sport Fishing Championship, but we had yet to come to Cabo San Lucas, and these waters are full of them. Well, you got to know these teams throughout the season, but let's look a little bit more in depth at one of these teams, or a couple of these teams. Are Twisted Tea, Spill the Tea, and boy, do they have a lot to tell here in Cabo San Lucas.
We're just talking, we got to make sure that we get video of the fish and the release, identify the species, and so, fishing can get fast and furious in that striped marlin fishery, and trying to keep all that intact at the same time with quads and triples is tough.
Yeah, you want to be focused on catching them, but you got to be focused on catching them, but you actually got to get the video and the coverage and make sure we get the timestamp and text it in. So, when all you're caring about is catching the fish and releasing the fish, you still got all that part about the tournament that you got to stay on point with.
Yeah, it's not just about catching the fish. You have to document those fish, and it's sometimes difficult to figure out, is it a striped marlin or is it a blue? Because there's some big stripes here as well. I was talking to one of the teams this morning, and they said, man, they are putting up a fight. Let's take a look at our playing field. 100 miles, that's what they have to work with. You could fish more, but no, not to be legal in our tournament.
And a lot of times, Robbie, that 10-mile radius right there, you can catch fish. You can catch them at every single area. They go to the finger banks. There's a lot of bait there. A lot of fish congregate there. And a lot of the guys will be fishing in that area.
4 teams over 2 days. They will all take off at 7. They will have to have their lines out of the water unless they have a fish that's called in at 5:30. And if they do, they can actually fight it till infinity. I said, but then once they do get it in, I think they have just about 2.5 hours to get back into Cabo San Lucas. Our Picante shotgun start each and every morning. Picante Sport Fishing in their 43 mag bay would send off these teams. And we've seen the Bisbee's black and blue where there are a ton. It's a mass armada going out, but these are the best of the best. These 4 go out on their hunting grounds, their fishing grounds. Do I go left? Do I go right? Do I go straight out? That's the first decision they have to make.
That's the biggest question, Robbie. Always in any tournament, you got to do your homework. You've got to get the intel. You got to figure out which way to go, depending on the wind, depending on the current, water temps. There's so many factors you got to put into it, and sometimes it's just a shot in the dark on day one. You got to go for what you feel is right, and sometimes it may be wrong. So, you know, right spot, right time is going to be the winner.
Well, look right there. You can tell something, El Arco in the background. That means that Rising Suns was going straight out or maybe even taking a little bit of left. It looks like the other three teams might have turned right just a bit. So, again, you get to make that decision. Where do I want to fish? And I've been there before a couple of years ago, golfing at Quivira. Awesome facility, but the fishery up the coast seemed to be a hot one. And Robbie Floyd and Peter Miller, he's the man who's been there. How many times you been to Cabo San Lucas?
Only about 4 times, but I caught enough fish there to make it like I've been there 100 times.
Only 4. Striped marlin are plentiful, and you don't have to go very far off the shore to catch them.
No, they're right. They're, you know, within that radius. See, they got that 10-mile radius, the 20-mile radius. You can go to these finger bank areas where the bait congregates, and then all of a sudden the marlin just like hoard in there, and you can catch 6 at a time. We would have 6 on. You'd release one, go to the bow as you're backing down, put out another bait, catch another one. You'll catch 7, reset, and do it again, and again, and again. It's amazing, Robbie.
I know these teams are making it look easy. It's not that easy. I say that, but then again, our commissioner of the SFC did go 3 for 5 this week on striped marlin. So he's making it look easy, too. These guys, they are pros. We got 4 teams. The best of the best are here with us. Let's introduce them now. Team Lights Out, our only Atlantic team. We saw them win a couple of years ago, Oak Bluff Blue Water Classic. Strong team led by Rob Carmichael.
Yeah, they're hanging out in Cape Cod, and they're hanging out with my buddy Garrett from West Marine, and they are catching lots of fish. Big marlin, tunas, wahoos, you name it, they catch them.
They're on La Chingona, too. It's a brand new Viking. I mean, they haven't even knocked the dust off that thing. She's brand new out there trying to catch these stripes and blue marlin as well. Rising Suns, we've seen that team before. I believe they're on the Magnifico. So it's a Texas boat down there in Cabo, but they started off the year in a big way, winning the catch with Raheem Mostert as well as Alvin Kamara.
That's right. You remember Toby Berthelot, the epitome of sartorial elegance. We know that. And Jason always crushing it.
Yeah, there's 2 of our 4 teams. Team Lifeline, they were the strongest in the Gulf Division this year. Look for them to be strong, led by Dino McDowell. Of course, Blake Bridges, the captain on the Lifeline this year. I mean, that's a fun team, a strong team, and never a dull moment, I guess you would say.
Oh, no, that's a fantastic pairing. And look at that, $426,000 in tournament earnings this season alone.
Ooh, that's a lot of money, but there's one team that might have them beat on the numbers. $700,000 won this year already. They won the Mongo, the big fish of the Gulf. Southern Charm / All In, 2 teams together. That's a lot of talent on one boat. And when you see Southern Charm and their captain, Landon Bell, you know he knows how to get things done.
Look at that $700,000 this year alone.
That's what I said. That's a lot of money. Ooh, that's a lot of money. Every day at 7 o'clock they take off. So they head to the fishing grounds. How long does it take to run? Do you go 50? Do you go 60? Do you go 70? They've got areas they want to be. Predominantly these fish are in certain areas.
And a lot of times when you're fishing in these waters, the bite can be fast and furious right off the bat. So sometimes stopping short and putting them out, you might get a 6-banger, and then you go to the area where you know they're going to be the rest of the day.
Here we go. Southern Charm All In, the first reported catch of the week. So whether it's a striped marlin or blue marlin, striped worth 125 points. It looks like that's what they had hooked on. And that's how you want to get the game started. You want to be that first call-in because everybody can hear them calling in to the committee boat.
You know what's interesting about these striped marlin is they're kind of in between that white and that blue marlin. They get pretty big and they fight really hard. They have massive pecs and they're powerful fish. They might not be as big, not nearly as big as a blue marlin, but boy, can they fight. And they lay in there and it's like pulling up a garbage can lid.
This team's already got about 50 billfish released to date, or marlin released to date, not counting sales. Shaking the head. These fun fish, you know, sometimes you consider those whites with them being small, you get them in a little bit quicker. Since these are in between the whites and the blue, are they the fun fish that not going to wear you out for 3 or 4 hours?
Yes, exactly. They can get like that. You know, especially when you have a 6-banger on, which is 6 fish on, and you're backing up on them, you're getting the leaders on them, and you're not trying to hold them up for camera. You get that leader, and you cut them off with your mate saver. Yep. It's quick work. Every now and then they'll dig. You know, you'll foul hook one, or you'll get them under the peck. It'll take a while. But for the most part, it's steady Eddie. Let's just get them going and put them right back out.
We're going to be seeing several multiple caught at the same time. You talk about that 6, Boehner. If you were to have 6 fish, I'm ready to see that symphony of chaos.
Indicator. Put it in your camp. Oh, yeah, no.
Got the indicator.
Ron Davis, of course, the owner for the Southern Charm. It's only appropriate he gets to catch the first fish. Sun's out, guns out, as always with Ron.
We got plenty of.
And look at him. Dropping out. You're not going to catch fish without bait in the water.
That's right. Put them right back out.
Let's go out to Rising Suns, another one of our featured teams that made it to this playoff championship. Jacelyn Berthelot. It wasn't much longer after we saw Ron with a catch and Rising Suns with a catch of their own. Again, they are not in the same area.
He's still on you. He's still on you. Still there. He's coming. Hold it there, Toby. Hold it.
Yeah, he is.
Don't rip it away from him. Be ready again.
Stop. Wondering.
Nice job, Hunter. Come on, Garrett.
Got it?
Get over here. Nice. Just watch our line. Everybody just know where your bait is. Toby, go ahead and come in.
Yep.
Yours.
I'm coming in now.
Just watch. All right. That's a good spot on that inside rigger. Good spot. Give me a prospect in there.
Heard.
You got the wind on your favor there, Garrett, for the prospect.
Sparky, the sumo stays in the clip, right?
Huh?
Sumo's all the way up?
Right here.
Right here.
Watch your line there,
Close.
Garrett. Get it out, Garrett. We got ID and all that. Not yet. No, we don't have ID yet.
There we go. Yeah, we're good. Right, Marlon.
Drive, Marlon.
It's good to hear everything going down. This is their inter-ear communication.
Get the release. I only got one glove, and I'm going to send it at enough time. You want me to drop the chain?
Yeah, drop that chain.
No, we're good.
No, okay. Let's go hold what we got.
Jacelyn, if you can, and I'd like for you to try and extend and get on the tip on this one if you can, okay? If he's close like that, try and reel down just to get that leader on the tip.
Yep.
And then we can release, we can relax a little bit. All right, coming back here. Careful coming at the boat.
Right here.
Get the leader, get the leader.
Get it real, Jake. Real. Leader's on the rod. There we go.
There we go.
Fuck fish. Nice work.
Good job, guys. Good
There we go.
job.
Yeah, baby.
Nice job.
All right, on the board.
Number one.
Number one.
Water. Baits in the water. Go.
And he dropped his chain.
Watch my chain, guys.
Yeah.
I need.
I'm trying to keep that. Garrett, thanks.
All's well with the Rising Sun. Again, all in with the first fish, Rising Sun, immediately thereafter. This is day number 1. We're on day number 2. We're going to catch up to what's happening live here today. We'll step aside for just a moment for the Zane Grey Championship playoff presented by Verizon. Yeah, they caught them. 54 striped marlin, 2 blue marlin on day number 1. We're going to show you bits of here and there from that first day of comp. The Zane Grey Championship playoffs on CBS Sports Network is presented by Verizon. By Corazon Cabo Resort and Spa, the official host resort of the Zane Grey Championship playoffs. And by Pisces Sport Fishing. Love looking at that action, that dredge, working them up. There it is. I knew a stripe would pop in the picture.
I'm telling you, everybody loves calamari. No sauce needed for this one. And I see another marlin off to the left. If you look closely, that's a hot dredge right there.
You're good. You're good. Where you see one, you'll probably have others around. I know you've told me many times when you look back at the footage like I had no idea. I've got a good idea. We're going to crown a champion today of the Zane Grey Championship playoff presented by Verizon. Robbie Floyd and Peter Miller with you here in studio. We've been watching them go on throughout the past 2 days. Unbelievable, including team Lights Out. Our team from the Atlantic, the Massachusetts guys know how to get it done. They did down in Walker's Cay. They fish there. They can fish Cabo. They can do it all.
Yeah, you know, they're the best of the best. These guys take this so seriously. It is a science. You know, you can tell by the way they talk about it, how they methodically move around the cockpit, deploying baits and catching fish. They are good.
Rob, Jackie, Tucker Carmichael. You've got a couple of other anglers, Ross and Brian, on board. Rob West doing the mate work. But you can see it wasn't too long after we saw Rising Sun. Team Lights Out hooked up.
Got him? Yeah, I got him. Nice. You want me to fight it? You want to take it?
It takes so good.
And there's that one handle pass. I mentioned that handle pass because in some tournaments you can't. Well, the guy who catches it has to reel it in, but we allow one handle pass.
He's a pretty good sized striped marlin. And, you know, you can see there's a lot of chaos that happens when you're out here fishing. A lot of fish coming into the spread. But, you know, no yelling, no screaming. The dredges come in. The guy gets the release. You know, Carmichael gets the release, and it's on to the next one. Put the baits right back out.
That was a quickie. And those three teams have been going rigger to rigger.
Switched over to the right long. Tucker fed him, got the bite, passed it off. The idea is, you know, if he gets a bite or he wants to get back on getting fresh baits ready and getting everything back in the spread or trying to get the double or the triple. So he's going to try and, if he hooks one, instead of one of us, he's going to try and pass the rod off and, you know, keep baits fresh and try and get the double or the triple, you know.
Good words from him, letting you know some of that insight is good. And again, we'll bring you live footage throughout the day. Today, during our CBS Network television show, we'll have, about an hour and a half of live fishing, and then we'll wrap things up the final 30 minutes. But hearing what these guys are dealing with out on the water, Peter, and seeing where they're fishing, lifeline, lights out. I heard the teams talking about how they are rigger to rigger. You can be so close. You got to watch out.
You know, when that bite's hot like it is, the fish congregate in one area a lot of times, and you'll go to find those spots. And once you get there, you'll be amazed. You look around, and all of a sudden, there's 10 boats, there's bait everywhere. One day we went to this one spot, we had mako skying out, whales, seals, you name it. It was all happening. We'd have 30 fish come up in the spread as we would troll through these packs of bait.
Go where the fish are, and now you see lifeline. They weren't very far away, and they were hooked up. Now, oftentimes we'll see in these fisheries when one hooks up, another will hook up. And when you're literally on top of each other, maybe the same pack of fish.
I'll tell you what you learn, Robbie. You learn not to be the first guy to the rod. Because if you are, I've said it many times, the first guy is going to have the most line stretched out. Second guy, a little less. But the sixth guy, he's going to be back down, and you're going to grab his leader very quickly. That's usually the smartest guy on the boat.
Still looking for that sixth fish. Jordan Benefield saying, I just got to worry about this one. My job is to get this fish to the boat.
He ain't far off.
A showman.
You got to love that. You know, to be able to catch billfish within eye shot of land, mountainous region, that's just absolutely beautiful.
And for those who are seasick, when you see land like that, oftentimes you're not seasick.
Take the belt off.
Seeing a fish like that jump, that'll get your adrenaline going.
But my producer says if you're seasick, you can't get away from it. You're always going to be seasick. But maybe it's just a wives' tale. I heard if you can see land, it's often a little bit easier.
This fish is on a trampoline pretty much. I've never seen a fish jump like that in a while, Robbie. They're putting on a show.
You want me to back up or just go?
That's his Hispanic man, Pepe.
I want you to make sure you get it. As long as you get it right there,
Okay.
we're calling it.
All right. Is that Blake down? Yeah, Blake's down there giving direction instead of being up at the top. And blended teams, you know, in a borrowed boat, it might have a Mexican crew down here with you. Might be another American boat and just a different crew, but you're using parts of their crew.
Yeah, these blended teams, it's a common occurrence these days. You know, back early on when I started back in the 90s, you know, it was one team, and then as the years progressed, the kind of people, the really top players joined forces and became super teams.
Ready to rest my legs. You got to stay hydrated, too. You know, you're out there on water. This is a 10.5-hour fishing day as well. Save that body. Sit down if you can, if you need to.
Yeah, and some of them will dog you. You know, like we talked about earlier, they'll get under their peck or maybe their foul hook, or they're wrapped up a little bit. Sometimes they're tail wrapped. And that's when you realize, like, you know what, there's no sense in burning myself out. But they got the leader, they can take wraps on it, they've got the identification already, so it's okay to pull on that fish hard. In case he pops off, no big deal. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's why Jordan was putting the heave-ho to him.
That was a blue marlin.
That's why it was. It was a blue.
Look at that, 450 points. That's what you want. That's the fish you want.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
First blue marlin of the playoffs. Let's go.
Now it all makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, we thought that was a big boy, and it was a big blue out there.
Watching that thing jump going, gosh, that sure does look good. Not too big, not too small, just right.
450 points, too. So that was a big move for Team Lifeline. That was the first blue marlin of the tournament. Doesn't make a difference points-wise other than you get a big bonus because 450 is worth a lot more than that striped marlin at 125. There's what the catches look like on day number one up till this time. You see that released blue marlin again, 450 points. That leapfrogged the field. Lights out, rising sun, southern charm. Everybody catching fish. That's what you wanted to see on the first day. Boats will be heading into that marina later on today at 5:30. Lines have to be out. They'll be heading back, and we will be crowning a champion. Team Lifeline, we just saw Jordan Benefield, Captain Blake Bridges. Let's learn a little bit more about Team Lifeline.
SFC, here we are. We're catching some more, baby.
Our season's been phenomenal. To bring Captain Blake on board this season, and you really couldn't ask for a better season than what we've had.
Oh, yeah, he's right there.
Whether you're fishing at home or you're fishing somewhere that you're not familiar with, we're going to do just like we do back at home. We're going to put our time in. We're not going to let anybody outwork us. We may not win, but we're not going to let anybody outwork us.
Let's go back out.
Welcome back to the 2024 Zane Grey Championship playoffs presented by Verizon. Day number 2 underway. Day number 1 was a big one. We've already seen big catches. Several striped marlin caught. We just saw Jordan Benefield catch the first blue marlin of the tournament worth 450 points. That put Team Lifeline on top. Here's a live look at what's happening right now out on the water. Yes, they are rocking and rolling. Peter, this is not the smooth waters that 3 of these teams had yesterday. These are more like the waters that Rising Suns was dealing with yesterday.
Yeah, those are actual waves. You know, as they're backing down sea, and they're going after what looks like to be a double in the right-hand corner of your screen on the Rising Suns. And it looks like they're baiting a fish on the lower right-hand side as well.
So again, baited fish means they might have spotted somebody's hooked up on top right, but baiting fish, they see something, they're dropping live bait back to it. You don't necessarily troll that live bait, you're letting the once live bait do the work, and then it's time to pitch.
Yeah, and they got the leader on that first fish for Toby. They're working on that second fish right there, pumping it pretty hard. I mean, I believe they've probably already gotten the leader, and he's working it up like that. When you're working it that hard, you probably already got the catch. And they're going to bring that fish up quickly and redeploy. You see those squid chains hanging? You see the dredges hanging? They got a lot of materials going out there to bring these fish up into the spread. But I tell you, at all the places in the world you want to fish, this is the #1 spot, I think, for quantities of striped marlin.
And that should be a live look at the Magnifico, which would be Rising Sun. So they're going to try and add up their point total. Every point counts, and you need to fight till the very end. We saw teams there in the last few minutes catch fish, but where are they at in this sphere? We see Southern Charm all in. We talked about Lifeline earlier, led by Blake Bridges. Blake was actually the captain on All In last year, but with this being a combined team, you don't want too many chefs in the kitchen. So Landon Bell's taking over that duo of a team.
Yeah, they've got the superpowers. You know, they got the top-notch guys all combined. Obviously, fishing the spread, trolling. There's one, there's two.
And day one at 9:20 in the morning. This is still really early. Our first fish caught just before 8:30. We've already seen several caught. We're seeing several boats in the background. And early in the morning, the charter boats were out heavily.
Looks like one came off there. One's still on, working that bait up. You got to hope that, you know, the body of the bait's still there, or they call it a sancocho, where the body is gone and just the head and the hook come back. And that's common. That's common, especially white marlin fishing. But striped marlin fishing, you know, you never know what's going to happen. They come in, they hit it hard, they rip the bait in half, or they just pin it in their mouth, they T-bone it, and then they come off after a little drag pull.
Connor McLeod and Zach Redmond doing the mate duties on that boat.
Coming up on us soon.
They're actually on the Poor Decisions 61-foot Viking. I think Naya Winkler would be the captain typically on that boat. I think they did well on the Little Bisbees last week as well on the catch and release.
Steadily cranking, you know, you want to keep pumping. You obviously got the leader, the wind-on's coming in, and that is a catch.
Good to see Grant get some love there.
Making sure they got the video. One more confirmation. When you think it may be a blue, you better take your time and make sure.
Yeah. And
we're good.
I know one of the teams told me last night, I do want to see video of Bitterfield's blue marlin, because I've seen it before in these tournaments where they'll think, and it goes back to video verification, and if it's not absolute, they're not going to say it is.
Robbie, I'll tell you, it happened to me, and when I was fishing the Galapagos, I caught a 300-plus pound fish, and everybody said it was a blue marlin. And my friend, the fish scientist, told me, Peter, that was a giant striped marlin.
You were wrong.
Yep, everybody. 10 people on the boat.
Team Lifeline, we know this crew as well. Blake Bridges, talked about him now captaining, and we saw the Benefield clan catching fish earlier.
Somebody give him a chair. Dino's here. Here. Ready? Like that? Coming in, Wilmer, do we? I don't know. Let's see if we can get a double.
No doubt who's in that chair. That's Dino McDowell.
Big Daddy. This is a situation where, you know, there's always extra fish around. You want a guy running up to the bow if you can, if he's agile enough, one of these young guys, which you see a lot of, and you're going in reverse. You're slow trolling that bait off the bow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's my favorite move. I feel like I'm risking my life every time I go up there and no one knows I'm creeping up there, but I'm always deploying a bait and we're going in reverse.
And that's a live bait you would throw?
No, dead bait value with a chin weight. Let them swim, you know, as you're going to reverse, and then a blue marlin and striped marlin comes up.
I didn't know if you were treating like your backyard pond where you're just throwing a perch or a bluegill out there and just letting it swim till something grabs it. Here we go. We've got a double.
I think he's got you. No, we don't. Oh, we don't. Oh, you're right. You might have.
Although that wasn't in front.
That's exactly what we talked about. It's on the side. It could have been on the front. On the side's a little trickier.
He's walking
because,
it around.
Yeah, there was somebody on the bow. Yep, he ran up to the bow and did it.
Yep.
Boy, Dino, you working.
You're quite the prognosticator. I mean, we know that they had a double. We didn't know how they got the double.
I've never seen this footage, Robbie. This is just something we do.
From you, I got, let's see.
You know there's going to be more striped marlin around. I've jumped in with striped marlin, and you look down with your mask on and your GoPro, and you see 20 others down below eating
not this guy.
Sardines.
Not this guy.
Bring them up.
Hey, what's going on? SFC, here we are. We're catching some more, baby. Here we go.
They're trying to pull away from it. Now let's see if we can get that double to count.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Balake on the reel?
That is Blake on the reel, and they're backing. That's a nice sized fish. They're backing at that fish real fast.
I got him. Got good bait, Jason? Yep.
Ooh.
Let's go! Go, Jarry. That's what I'm talking about.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're having a ball out here in Cabo San Lucas, catching these striped marlin. Caught a blue, got 2 on the list already. We're just tearing it up and having a good time. Thank you.
Did you see what I saw? Our Twisted Tea instant replay. Our cameraman, Junior, look how close he is. That's too close. That's too close. That bill came up here. You heard it whack the hull.
We've seen too many videos of these fish coming in the boat. And when you're a cameraman, you're looking through the lens, boy, you better back up when you lose sight of it. That bill just swatted right there.
Back it up, Terry. That's our Twisted Tea instant replay of the day. The double slapper there for just a moment. So up to this point, this is what the leaderboard looked like on day number 1. Get out of town, Junior. That's too close. This is what the leaderboard looked like on day number 1 at this time of day. There's a 200-point differential between Lifeline and Southern Charm. That's because of that blue marlin. That's a big difference if you can catch one of those blues.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not common to catch a lot of blue marlin when you're fishing over there. It's typically like striped marlin after striped marlin, and then all of a sudden you'll get a sail mixed in and maybe a blue or black marlin mixed in, and that's when you know you're in the money.
Man, you know one thing I know that we aren't going to get to experience, Peter? That's the majesty that is Corazon Cabo Resort and Spa.
Corazon Cabo is the location is amazing. We are located at Medano Beach, which is the best swimmable beach in the destination, and also the location is very close to a lot of different activities, and also the amenities that we provide in this resort. Those are fantastic. You know, our staff is the best. I can tell you that. We treat each other as part of the family. We have a lot of members that have worked in the company for 18 years, 20 years. Everybody here is caring, and everybody wants to make sure that everyone, whomever comes to the resort, have an amazing time. This is a prime destination for fishing. So we always try to participate in the different ways with all the different tournaments. I mean, the fact that you're giving us the opportunity to be broadcast on such an important tournament, which is a unique tournament. I mean, you are helping us to be shown in your audience, which is huge. And of course, that will help us to bring more guests to the hotel. I want to make sure that everybody knows that anytime they come down to Corazon Cabo, they will feel the hospitality of the Mexican culture. You all know you all will be treated extremely well. We will do whatever it takes to make sure that you have one of the best trips in your life.
The Zane Grey Championship playoffs presented by Verizon on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Starbright. By Twisted Tea, keep it twisted. And by Parts VU, your marine parts and outboard superstore. Welcome back to the 2024 Zane Grey Championship playoff presented by Verizon. Robbie Floyd, Peter Miller here with you in studio. We're watching it go down. We're not staying at the Corazon Cabo Resort and Spa, but our crews, our cameramen did. We know they're having a good time, and we know after talking to them throughout the week, they're having a good time out on the water. It's just after the Little Bisbees, just before the Bisbees, black and blue, and Peter, 100 miles that they have to work with. We're looking at it on camera. 3 of those teams decided to head up north. Rising Suns did not decide to do that, and it looks like they were catching them up north.
Well, you know, Robbie, it seems like they're catching them up north, and all of a sudden they're catching them down south. Look, these fish move around. There's different packs. They follow the bait. There's no barrier as to where these fish are going to go. And sometimes you get in them right away, but then you lose track of them, and you got to find them. You got to reignite the system, and that's what Team Lifeline has done.
Team Lifeline was the team on the move. Early catch with the striped marlin, catching the first blue marlin of the tournament. Here's another stripe. Now we saw Jordan. Now we've got Dalton Benefield. It's like everybody's birthday. Everybody's getting a little present on this first day of competition.
And these fish are putting on a show.
Heck of a job. Heck of a job. Heck of a job. Oh, man, I'm wore out. About messed up. We got him in, though.
How can you be tired, man? You're having fun out there catching fish. Again, 10:35. Who's next? That's what you got. Who next?
You talk about those. You talk about the boat stacking up when the bite turns on. Once you see that, they're all going to congregate because you know there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of striped marlin chowing on sardines and whatever bait's present in that area, competing against the porpoise, competing against the seals, competing against the whales, the sharks. It is a feeding frenzy that you've never seen before, Robbie. I've seen it.
I think this was actually a double while Dalton got his in. Lori still had one on as well. So that you want to double up any opportunity you can. You've mentioned possibility of 6 rods and hooked up at a given time, but it's a symphony. One's great, two's even better.
Yeah, you always want to keep it in gear. You know, once you get that first fish on, you want to keep it in gear, make that turn. Hopefully you get another one. But look at that. That's a little one. What do you call that? A 180?
Yeah.
180.
Goes up, turns straight down, comes back down. Yeah.
Yes! Here comes another one!
And they were just turning it on, Lifeline. Yeah, here's your 180 you were talking about, right?
Yep.
Vert,
45.
down. Yeah, that was definitely a 180.
Okay.
It reminds you of your half-pipe days, doesn't it, Peter? I've done a gravity games a time or two. 540 or 180, 270, 360s. All in knows about that. They're hoping to do a couple of 180s. Catch fish going this way, do a 180, come catch fish going the other direction. Now, typically, if there's pods of these fish, they're going after schools of bait. Would you make a run through it? Would you only catch them certain directions, or would you come back through the opposite direction?
Any way you go through that pack, they're going to come charging. I've been up in the tower when we've gone through the bait schools, and they come from all directions, from the left, the right, the middle, up from under. And, man, when they're hungry and they're eating, they're so competitive, and they're aggressive, and they will come up and eat virtually anything they see.
Is the owner of the All In, Greg Trenner. He finally gets to try and get one of these striped marlin up to the line, up to the leader. Let's see how Greg does.
So right now, what we're working on is we're taking a hard right-hand turn. We have a fish on the right-hand side. So what we're doing is moving all the rods kind of over to the opposite side of the boat. We're trying to see if we can hook up to another stripe or blue, black, depending on what was with that other fish. And we'll do this for a couple turns, or 1 or 2 turns, and then we'll, if we can't catch anything, then we'll reel them in, which is what we're doing right now. And then once we get this in, we'll back up to that fish, get it to the boat, release it, and then, of course, get everything back out immediately. We'll get into a little bit of kind of the process of backing down. So right now, we're backing down. The fish is kind of planed out. It's towards the surface. So right now, we'll try to just get back to it and get a release on it. If we get the release, of course, we'll get everything back out. Fish dives down. We'll kind of stalemate for a second and see if we can plane the fish back out and then back down on it again. Again, the fish is up at the surface. We're going to continue to back down on it, try to get closer and closer to that leader. Should be coming up close here to be a catch. And we got a catch. So now the goal is to get some video of the fish to make sure we can identify what type of fish it is. There it is. Jumped up out of the water, and we got a release. There it is. Woo! Good job.
That was a striped marlin for Greg Trenner, and a great call. I mean, just swinging the boat around, you've talked about it many times. It's not just about that fish. It's trying to catch multiple fish in that same pack.
That's how you win the tournaments. You got to get those multiples because everybody else is going to be deploying whenever you can.
That was yesterday. Let's go out live to Team Lights Out. They've been in the top 2 or 3 all day long, catching a ton of fish yesterday as well as today. This is a live look in right now. We're not going to let the cat out of the bag of where they sit points-wise, but we do know that they have a fish on. We don't know what kind of fish they have on.
He's winding steadily, but you can see him short pumping. You know, even when that fish, even when you're gaining line on him, you always want to pump it up, wind down, pump it up, wind down. It keeps that belly, you know, you keep pulling that belly of line out of the water. You want to know where that fish is, especially if he's pulled off a ton of line. So that technique is the way you want to be. And, you know, explaining that to somebody, it's hard because like he's doing there, he's taking that belly out, Right now he's about to, you know, get tight on the fish, and they're going to know where that fish is.
You see the squid chain coming up. Don't want to get caught up. Don't want to get wrapped up.
Now he's taking line again.
And these are times that people, you know, that might not know better would be trying to gain ground.
Right, and you also want to have baits out as they're making that turn right there. If you're on the far corner, you're going to have a bait out, maybe 2 baits out. You can see, you know, his cohort there. He's got a bait out, and there's someone next to him with a bait out.
Remind me to ask you a question on our CBS show. I got a good question. Everything comes to me all at once, Peter. I'd like to thank everybody for watching on YouTube and around the world. SFC Plus. This is live look. A live look at what's happening out on the water right now with Team Lights Out.
Beautiful imagery right here coming at us live from Cabo. Broadcast right from the boat, right to the studio with the mountains in the back. Working on billfish. Big billfish, lots of them with teams that really live for this. This is what they do, and they're fantastic at it. These guys are scientists. They're fish scientists.
Remind everybody that we come on air for our CBS Sports Network show at the top of the hour, so in about 20 minutes from right now, but we're looking live. We had to show you. Mark Neifeld, the commissioner, is talking about how we're going to bring live sport fishing to the world, to the masses, and we've been doing it, and this season is capped off with this, and again, a multitude of fish being caught, and we're going to be doing these final hour and a half live on CBS Sports Network.
Well, people have tried it. They've tried it. Now the technology's here, and Mark's you know, steering the ship, and for us to be able to witness this, you know, for me, especially doing this my entire life, to see this live coming at us from Cabo, pumped into a studio in 4K, it is just mind-boggling. It's just incredible stuff that's happening.
And we'll talk about also about the what's to look forward to in 2025 with new charter teams and some big-name owners of some of these charter teams. I know Randy Moss, Scotty Scheffler. I mean, Grant Williams.
My buddy Randy Moss?
Yeah, that guy, yeah. The one that says, yeah, he goes fishing with you because I'm not Randy Moss.
That's right. Your name's not Randy Moss, is it?
Yeah, because you're not Randy Moss. I got Moss.
See, that fish has been coming out, and the fish has been racing at the boat and then pulling away. I mean, they're doing a lot of maneuvering. It's a ballet, Robbie. It is a ballet of emotions and a ballet of people moving around that pit with the captain backing down, the angler doing what he's supposed to do, everyone clearing the deck, and just being prepared for absolutely anything.
And let's think about it, too. This is light line, light tackle stuff. This isn't the big rods and reels that we would see down in the Gulf expecting blue marlin, right? So if you get a blue, you're going to catch it on lighter tackle.
Well, they usually have 30s and 50s set up for this sort of thing. And, you know, everything's stand-up. It's very rare that you're going to get in the chair unless you're on a big blue and you're just, you know, you're burned out already. But for the most part, it's 30-pound and go to 50 for the blues. You're going to pitch baits if you see a blue marlin come up on the teaser with a 50-pound, if you can. If you can't, guess what? That light drag on the 30-pound is going to keep that blue high up on the surface, high up in the water column, because they're not going to feel that pressure, which would make them dig down. 80-pound, 130, those fish are going to dig deep, and it could be a long battle.
It's 3:44 local time in Cabo. They have till 5:30 their time to have lines out of the water. And we've seen how fast and furious it was on day number 1. And I talked to one of the teams this morning, and they said the bite actually picked up in the afternoon once or later on in the day. As those charter boats left, things did start picking up.
I don't know if you noticed what he's doing right there, Rob. He's doing a little bouncy bounce That's a little technique you use when you want the fish to get annoyed to have them coming up, jumping up, and once they start jumping or
then you make ground.
The scope, then they'll back the boat up to them and they'll try to get the leader. But when they're down like that, they need something to get them going. So he's giving it a little taparoo, you know, like they do in Caddyshack. Just tap it in.
Tap it in. And there's making ground.
Currently in second place, adding more fish, hopefully, to their scorecard.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like Picante Sport Fishing and Pisces Sport Fishing that do this week in, week out, these charter boats. Some of them are paired up with these teams, just trying to get some of that insight and knowledge of where to be.
I get a lot of emails, Robbie. I get a lot of emails from my show, and they say, hey, Peter, you know, love your show, but where can we go? Who do we go fishing with when we go to Cabo? These guys are a great go-to team. You know, when you have Picante or Pisces, they have a whole fleet. They do it every day, and they know exactly what they're doing.
And thank all of our sponsors helping us out and helping out the anglers, Everglades Fishing, Turtle Box Audio. They had their own jams pumping. 7 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to be pumping things up live on CBS Sports Network. So in a little less than 15 minutes, we'll be live on CBS Sports Network from Cabo San Lucas, or shall we say the waters just outside of Cabo San Lucas. When we come on air, they'll have about an hour and a half fishing. This is the way it looks right now, 33-25. You can see if lights out gets that fish. It's very important. 450 points. That's a blue marlin. If you stay in 450, it can happen in an instant, and that's what they are all looking for.
It's anyone's game, Robbie. There's a lot of fish to be had.
Southern Charm all in. They've been catching fish throughout. Rising Suns. I wouldn't count out any of these teams. Only 4 made it to this point. Only 1 will be crowned champion of the 2024 Zane Grey Championship playoff presented by Verizon. I had fun on SFC Plus, Peter. Fun on YouTube. It's a big show coming up here in a bit. You ready?
I'm excited for it, Robbie. CBS Sports, baby, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
I'm going to go grab me some Monster. I'm ready to be fired up, boy. Let's do this. Top of the hour. Let's go. It's the Zane Grey Championship playoffs presented by Verizon. For Peter and Robbie, we'll see you then.